honest with you, it's been over a year I did not touch this lens, and I used it only 3 or 4 times. I did not like it. I wasn't happy about the result. Anyway, last week I found one video explaining how to use this lens, and the result was quite amazing. So I said to myself, let's give it another try, otherwise I will have to sell it. Next video I will show them how to have the cook look by just putting one layer of Vaseline on one UV filter. It will be amazing. So here are the Vivitar 28mm with one 0.72 focal reducer, the Roxanne, of course. Right now I'm focusing to infinity and I set the aperture to f2.5. And here we found the focal reducer just with the adapter. And now just for reference, let's compare the 28mm, the Vivitar, to the 25 Meike, because 25, 28, this is the closest I have right now. Also set to infinity at f2.2. It seems that we have more contrast and is sharper than the Vivitar. But if you pay attention to the micro detail, you see that the Vivitar seems to have the upper hand. And here we found the focal reducer, with, without, with. Just one side note before I forget. When I will review one lens, I will not touch the picture. I will reset the camera setting to 0 and maybe touch the at light in post. I will use the natural profile. I will not use any filter. No ND, no UV filter, no mist filter, nothing. So you will have one clear, out of the box picture, closest to what you might have if you decide to buy the lens. Quite simple. I think this is the good way. This is the way.
Also the Meike seems a bit softer at the corner, but it's okay for me. Now let's try again. With the focal reducer, without the focal reducer. With the focal reducer, without. And with the focal reducer, and without. Now let's make it quick for the spec and a bit of history. So Vivitar had 2 manufacturers for this lens, or maybe 3, I think 2. You have the Chiron and the Tokina. The old school photographer, they recommend the Chiron version that you can recognize by the serial number starting by 22. Chiron was founded by one ex-staff of Nikon who was unhappy with the direction of the company that was using some plastic in the lens. So the man was quite old school. He said, no, just metal. I will make my own company. This is why the Chiron look is a bit like the Nikon look. The build of this lens comes without any surprise for the one who know the reputation of Vivitar and Chiron. Vivitar for the quality control and Chiron, or Chiron, whatever, for the build quality. Just metal and glass. No plastic, nothing fancy, just old school metal. And beautiful. You can find this lens for around $30 to $50. It's a bargain. I had mine for, I hate to say it, $90. But this is one main condition. No scratch, no fungus. The focus of this lens is something like 270 degrees. Some other people they say 300 degrees, whatever. It's one very long focus throw, but the only downside is it's a bit stiff. But still good for video. The only bad point, because this is the automatic version, this is this switch. Every time you touch the aperture ring, you are moving the switch that is a bit fancy. That means you move the aperture ring, sometimes
You are moving also the switch. You have to check to put it back in manual mode. Okay, why I say this lens is confusing? Because this lens divides the owners or the users in two groups. The one who say this is one great lens, and the other side saying that this is garbage. Depending on how you use it, this lens is capable of better or worse. From 2.5 to 5.6, some people say 4, but for me this is 5.6, everything is bad. The softness, the chromatic aberration, the bokeh. When you reach the f4, 5.6, this is just abracadabra. Tada. Something is happening. It's just like you have one new lens. Everything is different. Everything comes to maturity. It is beautiful. It produces color with contrast. I mean, look at the footage right now. I did not touch the color. Nothing. I just set up the white balance. Everything looks great. Even in the detail. And also it's sharp while keeping the vintage softness. And more you approach f22, more the lens is shining. I mean, this is confusing. Really, this is confusing. In fact, you got two lenses in one. You got one lens bad and one great lens. Of course, forget about the bokeh that is mostly gone by f4, but it does not even matter when you see what you got. The chromatic aberration, they are minimal. The color are rich, the contrast is excellent, even in the detail. f8 to f22, this 28 mil is, I hate to say it, but the image look cinematic. Filmic look. You have the filmic look. But there is always one but. The bokeh is, oh la 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 la. Imagine you have one white wall and somebody come and just poop some color everywhere. Splash. Damn, sometimes I say stupid thing. Oh, la, la, la. Anyway, there's no artistic touch. There's no softness, delicateness. This is just like I say, somebody just poop some color for you. If you got one good background with some detail, some lot of lighting, thing like that, maybe you can see the bubble, bokeh bubble, whatever, but otherwise you just have something unpleasant. The flare. La 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 la. You love the flare? This lens is well known because of its flare. And this is not, we are not talking about one good, nice, beautiful, artistic flare. We are talking about something that take over the whole picture. This lens flare like crazy. And this is in the category go big or go home. No middle ground. Now let's wrap up everything. For the pros. Focus RAW, perfect for video. Build quality. Price. Now for the cons. Everything between f2.5 and 4. No. The bokeh is ridiculous, it's ugly, and the flaring is abusive. Yeah, this is the word. I will sell the lens. I don't recommend it. If you really look for one 28 vintage, better try the Betacon 28 f2.5. At least you will be able to use it at all the aperture. But hey, at the end of the day, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want with your money. Money!